Blue skies and sunshine above. Kade Simpson captaining Carlton this afternoon. Leo Barry captaining the Sydney Swans, winning the toss. And the Swans will kick left of screen in the opening term as we welcome to the microphone 300-game, three-time premiership superstar Alistair Lynch.
Thanks very much, Dwayno. Looking forward to this game. It should be a classic encounter. Good conditions at the SCG. You've got a top team in the Sydney Swans starting to strike some form. And the other at the bottom of the ladder, but desperate to prove a point to the AFL community.
And good conditions for boundary riders as well. Welcome back, Lee.
Yes, how you going, boys? Beautiful day up here. And as you said, it is Red Kite Day, supporting kids through cancer. Looking forward to the game. Brendan Favola starting at full forward, so look out, Carlton fans.
Thanks for that, Lee. Brendan Favola back in action this afternoon. 1 week off, internal suspension for poor body language. He said in an article during the week that it was for glaring at Dennis Pagan after he dragged him against Fremantle. Took his boots off 26 minutes into the final term, but he's back in the team this week. Conditions couldn't get any better than this. Not far away from the start. The umpires this afternoon, Hayden Kennedy, Chris Camillans and Simon Meredith.
Quite interesting, Lynchy, that Brendan Favola is starting on the half-forward flank with Leo Barry's direct opponent.
Yeah, good idea to get Leo Barry away from the goal square. All the Carlton forwards have pushed up the ground, leaving space over the back to run onto.
Hall and Waite there as we see on the screen. Great matchup.
It'll be Satanta O'Halpin to lead the ruck for the Blues against Spider Everett, the old and the new. And the ball up, Carazzo. Quick kick away from the middle is okay from Murphy.
Hands
and there's
in the
a free
back.
kick, hands in the back.
Against Ted Richards.
Fisher's lost a boot already.
It was definitely there, as long as the umpires are consistent with it, Lynchy, today. They've set the scene nice and early.
That was a good start. Carlton, over the course of the year, have had no problems getting the ball into their forward 50. And certainly their efficiency has been up for most part, as you see the free kick there. But last week they were very inaccurate once going in, so need an improved effort there.
Kicked 2 goals, 1 last week, Brad Fisher. That's a wobbler that'll fall short.
That's a good grab.
And it's a perfect grab by Houlihan in the square.
Well, it was a good grab, but I'm not sure whether Peter Everett lost the ball in the sun or in traffic, because he was down there just about ready to take the mark, but Ryan Houlihan swooped in front of him.
Only kicked the 4 goals this year. He's played every game, and he gives the Blues the perfect start away from home.
Perfect start for the Carlton Footy Club. They need the confidence to get off to a good start, and certainly conversion from the top of the square is going to be very easy. But that kick, as you touched on, Dwayno, is a bit of a floater off the boot, and Peter Everett probably lost it a little bit in the sun, but it floated all over the place and was just well read in the end.
Well, the thing with Everett there, had to body line the body, Lynchy. He tried to reach for the ball with a spoil. He should have at least put some body pressure on Houlihan there.
And that probably is a fair indication. He didn't see the flight of the ball real well, didn't know where to put the body. Poor error.
Last time these two teams met here, round 22 last year, Sydney winning by 92 points. The Blues hoping for a better performance than that this afternoon. Everett in the ruck. Carazzo, half held by Kirk, now fully held by him. He's got the ball and will get another ball up.
And he was very good, Carazzo, last week. He had the 33 touches, 7 inside 50s, so he started off where he left off last week.
And Carazzo does some ruck work, but straight down to Adam Goods. Finally a possession for the Swans. Bouncing ball inside 50. O'Keefe lays the tackle, holds it in. It comes out Scotland, tucked up against the boundary. In fact, he was outside the boundary line. No, free kick. And Harlan allowed to play on to Waite. Spears it in the bow direction. Caught by Lachlan, slung, but released. Back again to Waite. Nice movement from the Blues, from the fence.
Had nowhere to go to. Back to Bolton, who's the only player back in the 50.
And he gets back and collects it eventually. Craig Bolton handballs to Matthews. Puts him under pressure. Dragged down by Murphy. No free kick given.
Could be now.
And we will get a ball up in the goal square.
Well, Everett's in the ruck on O'Halpin, but after the centre bounce, O'Halpin's pushing forward, and then Kudafidi starting the half-forward lines going on to Everett.
Swans will try and push this through for a behind if they can. Bannister gets the snap away, and he's got it. It's 2-0.
Well, what a start, Lynchy.
What a start. We've seen a few upsets over recent weeks. I don't think too many people would have backed Carlton, but the way they've started this first few minutes, this is an outstanding effort. They've got off to a good start, good snap on goal with a lot of numbers around the ball, and that is a bad mistake once again, close to the goal line, not to get the ball through for a rush behind.
Well, Dennis Pagan talked about the stoppage work and would have done a lot of homework on the Sydney Swans stoppage work. That's a great result to kick a goal from the stoppage.
Jordan Bannister back into the Blues lineup this afternoon. Didn't play in the loss to Melbourne last week. Has now kicked 4 straight for the season. 2 straight for Carlton. Everett wins it down to Goods, takes on Koutafidis, dropped the ball, holding the ball. Play on advantage. Bannister loads up, long bomb towards the goal square. Favola not down there, and Murphy allows it out with Ben Matthews.
It's good coaching having Favola up the ground. Sydney would have been prepared for Favola to kick goals, but Dennis, the master coach, Favola out of the forward 50, open up the options for someone else.
O'Halpin. Favola comes in. Everett knocks it down in the Goods direction, tucked up against the boundary. Favola drags Goods out with the ball.
Just to reinforce your point there, Danny, I think also it gets Leo Barry away from the goal square, so that's good. That's a win for Carlton.
Jude Bolton, big tackle
That's dropping
on
the ball.
Fosdyke. And the umpire said that the ball was dislodged in the tackle. He got away with murder there.
Oh.
Koutafidis.
Numbers
Back into the corridor, tough one. Stolen by Ablett. Here go the Swans. Hall, O'Loughlin. No one to go too long. Tries to manufacture a short. Almost play on. Hartlett ran himself into trouble. Thornton gets it to the outer side. Carazzo.
Well, this is a fantastic start. They're full of passion and running. We know they've got the ability to kick scores. It's whether they can sustain it for the course of the game is going to be the big issue for Carlton.
Fisher pokes it to half forward for Favola. Not the third grab. Bentic sold the dummy. Back to Favola. Inside 50. Can he get the perfect start? No.
And that would have been a perfect start. He's led hard at the ball, didn't quite take it, but he's laid a tackle already in the first quarter and imposing his presence on the game.
That's the key there, Lynchy, the tackle. That's the thing Dennis Pagan will be looking at, the team things that create the goals. That's a great sign from Brendan Favola.
Well, he'd be saying to him, we don't want Leo Barry's run out of defence, and that's very difficult. It's easier said than done to stop that run, but if he can start out wide, maybe run back with the fly of the ball, a lot of pressure and tackle, I think that'd be a win for Favola, and Pagan would be very happy with his role.
Good spoil from Walker, thumps it out. And get a ball in on the wing. Magnificent conditions for football here at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Nothing but blue sky above, bright sunshine. Everett thumped it down, got it back. Kennelly started on the bench, surprisingly enough.
Straight on, gets a kick.
Fosdyke sends it to half forward. Everett flies, can't mark. Koutafidis, Wiggins, the captain Simpson, Bauer. And now they run it out of defence.
Oh, they've got numbers forward as well.
They have. Lurking Bannister on his own. Somehow got it from Wiggins. And somehow with some space, a couple of bounces. Looks up, he's got Fev and he hits him.
That was a good option because if he had went long, Goods was dropping back in the hole. So it's the only option he had. It was a good kick to Favola.
Their ball use has been very good. They were under an enormous amount of pressure coming out of their back half with hands, but they managed to hit the target on each occasion, and that was good, very good running from Bannister to find space, and then a very good lead to hit Favola.
Reigning Coleman medalist, 39 goals, 26 so far this season. Tough kick from the pocket. If anyone can, Fev can. He can't. This time at least are behind.
Well, it's a great start for Brendan and Carlton, 25 possessions to 11. But more importantly, Lynchy, 10 contested possessions to 3. Sydney really haven't started at all at the moment.
Malcheski short to Fosdyke. Schneider. Manspear on the wing. Jolly.
This is the time as a coach and Paul Roos be thinking, gee, I hope the boys are switched on. I know it's only early. They'll work their way into it, but they just need to get the ball inside their forward 50 and create a contest.
Everett's got 2 to beat here. Tough one for him. And a good thump across the boundary line. We'll get a ball in
And that's something I'm sure he was trying to reinforce during the week. Trying to make sure after a very emotional win last week, they were fantastic in tough conditions, the Sydney Swans, reinforcing that this team, Carlton, don't underestimate them. They've got some talented kids.
Jolly took it out of the air but got caught, and it's quite often holding the ball. It is this time as well.
The tackling's been superb the start of the game, the Blues.
It's been a strange start from the Sydney Swan players. Haven't had a lot of it, and they might not get it here either.
We're second to the ball, Dwayne, at the moment.
Halpin to Fisher. Matthews. Kennelly, that's a
That's
throw.
a throw. Things are just going Carlton's way, and that's because their run, their passion,
Their pressure.
They're just feeling good about themselves. Favola one out.
Bannister to Houlihan to Favola. Manhandled by Barry. Favola to himself. Keeps it alive around the boundary. Dempster can take it out. Elects not to. Matthews. Ablett. Three men in the middle. Malcheski. O'Loughlin. Malcheski. O'Keefe. Under immense pressure. Perhaps holding the ball. It was a throw.
Yeah, that's a good thing. It's about how much pressure you put on when you don't have the ball. We all can run and carry the ball nicely when you're running forward, but you must chase and tackle hard on the way back.
Murphy to Houlihan. He looked to be manhandled as well. No free. Craig Bolton to Kirk. Uncharacteristic fumble from Kirk. O'Loughlin. Nice palm down to Matthews. Just hacks it out of the danger area, and that's a brilliant one-hander to Scotland.
It was just a panic kick, just perceived pressure.
Kick not so good. Ablett. Half back. Swans under siege. Malcheski a fumble. Kicks it off the deck. Inside 50. Davis lurking. Bowers with him. Tucked up against the boundary. Centering kick. Waite was in front of Hall.
Yeah,
and he shrugs Everett.
That was fantastic from Jared Waite. Backed himself in, played in front, but then had the awareness just to work the ball.
And Simpson's kick smothered by Michael O'Loughlin. Ball in on the wing.
That's the first defensive pursuit we've seen, Lynchy, since the start of the game from the Sydney Swans. It's taken 8 minutes for a tackle or a smother. Great play there from Waite. Good athleticism.
Playing the defence again, Jared Waite kicked 5 goals against Fremantle 2 weeks ago. He's been mixing it up, forward and back. It's good when you can play either end. And Scotland sends it long towards Favola. Barry with him. Half holds Favola, and he half played for the free. Umpire said play on. Dempster. Fosdyke. Schneider. Gone.
Great
Dumped by
tackling.
Gibbs.
Fev on the way back because he didn't chase.
Simpson to Walker. Handball made it tough for him. Left foot kick without looking. Fisher direction. Spoiled by Richards in the Kennelly direction. Houlihan, Kennelly. Well hassled. Houlihan toes it to his own advantage. Back to Fisher. Slung. In possession. Ball up.
Tackle count 3-8 Carlton's way. That's a great start. The midfielder on song. You see that there with hand on the head. Is that a free kick, Lynchy?
Only hands in the back that's a free now. Hand on the forehead's fine. Carazzo. And he spears it wide. Only a behind.
Like it's not your forehead, Brian. On a big hand.
Oh,
Barry.
there's a backhander.
Gee. It's been tough in the box as well. It's been tough for the Swans early stages. Schneider. Malcheski about to get caught. Schmidt. Schneider. Caught. Dispossessed. Thornton. Caught. Centre of the ground, and the umpire will ball it up. It's been a magnificent start for the Blues. 15-0. And we've played 13 minutes opening quarter here at the SCG.
Quite interesting. Carlton trying to spread at these stoppages, Lynchy. Trying to open it up.
Jolly got it down, but straight to Carazzo. Kick. O'Loughlin lending assistance in defence at the moment to Goods. Leo Barry, as he loves to do, takes off. Kirk, another fumble from Kirk. Gets it to Matthews. Back to Barry. Away from Walker. O'Loughlin. Past Kennedy.
The
Kirk.
numbers wide.
Cleaner hands that time. O'Loughlin. Craig Bolton sends it long. Goal square. Davis is down there. Bauer with the punch. Dumps it through. 4 behind. Well played by Paul Bauer.
Excellent play there from the youngster, Lynchy.
It was good pressure, and Barry Hall, just a little message to the carriers. Make sure you deliver it to me. A shorter pass was probably the option. But just notice the pressure from Brendan Favola. It was his third chase. He ran really hard, laid a tackle on the third attempt. But that's the sort of pressure. They will put pressure on the Swans. That's causing the fumbles at the moment.
Kate Simpson coming off 29 possessions last week. Entrusted with the kick in, and Bentic hands it off. Spearing pass from Murphy to Favola, and he might be within range. 50 from goal.
He's well and truly within range, and he's probably the best shot on goal from a set shot in the competition. Beautiful kick. Easily got the distance. Should just go back and nail this one and make it really tough early for the Swans.
And Lynchy's playing more conventional now. Started the game up the ground, now playing conventional full forward.
Coming off an 84-goal season last year. 39 goals, 28 so far this year. Gives it some sky. It comes back and off. Favola's on the scorecard.
Started well.
It's a confidence lifter for him and the team. You know that you're probably your gun player, really. I mean, he's switched on. He's trying to do the team things, and the byproduct of doing the team and the defensive things is going to be related to the goal scoring ability, and that was a beautiful kick. He presented well on the lead. Now, you know, Spud as a former full-back, when you get turned around and running back the other way, it's very difficult as well. Fev's got the ability to go forward hard at the ball, but also turn Barry around.
First goal to Brendan Favola is almost proof that in modern society, infamy is as lucrative as greatness.
Well,
he's used whether he's good or he's bad, Brendan Favola.
He's got Leo Barry in two minds. As you said, Lynchy, do I play in front or behind? Because I'm up the ground and I'm deep.
From the ball up. Kirk extracts it with a wobbly kick in the Jude Bolton direction. O'Keefe, Bauer. He's an All-Australian key defender. Has an under-18 Paul Bauer, so he knows what it's all about under pressure in defence. Doing well so far today. Kick wide, marked by Hartlett. And he's hurt his hamstring. And that's bad news because he tore his hamstring off the bone about a year ago. That's why he's been so long coming back. That's horrendous news for Adam Hartlett. It's his third season, Adam Hartlett, and that hamstring's been the worry the whole time. And he looks to be coming off.
He's coming off.
It's season over, it looks. But it's the same hamstring. From the midfield, now Chesky. He looks up, takes them on, got Barry Hall short, straight through his legs. Matthews, forward pocket for the Swans, centering kick, but no one's home. Wait. Simpson.
Now, you create your own luck, but just the ball's not bouncing for the Sydney Swans at the moment, and it's certainly going Carlton's way.
Long kick, high kick, getting crunched was Young. Dempster. Good start to this game. Schmidt, Bevan, Matthews. You can tell from the first 15 minutes that it might be a big afternoon. We're hoping we wouldn't get a lopsided contest like last year. Certainly doesn't look like we will now. Kennedy from 60, spears it, hoping for Favola. Fisher cuts it off, hands off to Houlihan from the stand start to the goal square. O'Halpin's down there, gathers, stabs it, goals it. A piece of brilliance.
What a beauty.
Oh, great snap, and he is just the energy of Carlton, raw talent. And a good snap. He protected the drop zone, got the ball to ground, and then turned Craig Bolton around. That is a fantastic snap on goal, and that is fantastic. As we have a look at the injury there, Hartlett just knew that his left hamstring had gone high. But have a look at this snap.
What about the ball drop?
It hasn't really spun real well.
Got off the inside of his instep, Lynchy, but it's 6 points. But I tell you what, Dennis Pagan, 24 contested possessions to 14. He'd be wrapped with that.
He'd be happy to be back home. Satanda O'Halpin, he was born here in Sydney. Mother's Fijian, of course, raised in Ireland. Spent all of his time in Ireland before being recruited back to Australia. And a good start to the game for him. From the ball up, free kick's been found. Everybody stopped, and Goods got the play on advantage call. Kicks toward Barry Hall, Waite in front. And that could be deliberate. Well, it's out on the full regardless. Free kick Sydney.
10 rows back. He's a good athlete, Wade. He's going to really trouble Hall for pace over that 10-metre lead.
Goods short to Schneider. 27 players won. Spearing pass to Davis. Couldn't collect it. Simpson shrugs the tackle. Handball not so good. Adam Goods. Malcheski. Inside 50 and a high to O'Keefe. He drops the mark. Barry Hall lurking. Gets around and snaps a much-needed one. They're awake.
A much-needed goal. Great goal from Barry Hall. Jared Wade, he had a crack at the contest, Lynchy, but the key there was Wade went to ground after the contest. Just see him slip there. Once you're on the ground, it just opened it up for Big Bad Barry, and Sydney desperately needed that goal because the clearances, it is Carlton 12-9. The contested possessions 25-18. Sydney have just started to play.
And Barry Hall is having his rotation on the bench, which will be happening for the rest of the year.
Well, can you believe this? Barry Hall kicks a goal and then comes off.
Modern football, Dwayne.
Can that justify it, though? They've needed one for the whole quarter. We've played 20 minutes now, opening term. Finally get one, and the man who got him into the game is off. Malcheski.
I'm not saying I agree with it. It's just modern football.
Fosdyke sends it wide. O'Keefe doesn't get there first. It bounced poorly for him. Wait. Hamill didn't look good off the hand. Young caught high.
I just reckon sometimes football's so much about momentum. If someone gets a goal, I mean, often if you can get the runner back out there to change the decision, it would be a good one.
I'll tell you who's happy about it, Jared Waite.
Oh, wouldn't he? What?
I know I'd be happy with Lynchy when you kick one, you go straight off. Beautiful.
Plugger would have loved that, wouldn't he?
I don't think he would have ran off.
Bauer sends it inside 50. Fisher lost it in the sun, so couldn't get a fly at it. Bannister to Houlihan. Bauer. Inside 50 and high. Fisher under it again. Gets a side of this time. Thump clear. Schneider. Craig Bolton. Bevan. We're on the march now. Bevan goes long. Davis inside 50. Takes the mark. Bauer couldn't get back in time.
He learned from that plane. He spectated the ball, Bauer, and just for an instant, he allowed Nick Davis to get goal side. You can spectate the ball as long as you've got your direct opponent in your sights. It was a terrific kick from Bevan, but we just see Nick Davis running into space. Bauer had to be goal side. He'll learn from that, the young fella.
Yeah, spot on. He watched the ball and just for an instant thought that Davis is not going to be used, and that instant was the one that cost him in the end. This man doesn't miss from this sort of range.
Nick Davis, whose father Craig played in the celebrity game before this one. He played for both clubs, Craig Davis, Carlton and the Swans, as Nick misses only a behind.
He rarely misses from that position anyway. He's a very good kick for goal, 9 times out of 10.
They have just got their running game going, though, Dwayne. You're absolutely spot on. The handball receives now. Sydney 36, Carlton 25. They're just starting to warm into it now, Sydney.
Thornton. Nick Davis didn't kick a goal last week either. Towards the wing, and Everett gets the fly, the sit and the mark. Joined the 300 club last week, Peter Everett. 300 games all up. Magnificent performance. It's been a grand career. Hasn't played in as many wins as he would have liked. Schneider, short. O'Keefe missed it. Spearing kick towards the wing, and Fisher takes the mark in front of Dempster.
That was good work from Wiggins. He was the one that Everett had taken the mark over, but pushed back into defence and cut it off.
Favola. Just high bombs it inside 50. Pack flies. Bentic had about 3 to beat. Schmidt stayed down. Jude Bolton. Here's the run from defence. Jude Bolton sends it along. Davis on the move. Got it.
Right,
and he's had a sider.
It was beautiful movement, Wayne, but that Brendan Favola kick, it's all right going long, Lynchy, but you go long to the top of the square. Went long to about 45 metres out. We just allowed the Sydney midfielders and wingers to get back and crowd it, win the ball, turn over, run it through the corridor, lace out football to Davis.
That's the thing. Your 2 kicks from goal from that position just opened the whole ground up. Very dangerous. Got to stay wider when Favola was coming in there.
And as you mentioned, normally super accurate. 14 goals, 5 for the year. Wouldn't expect him to miss 2 in a row normally.
I fixed him.
So came into this game with 14 goals for. He's now got 14-6.
Gentlemen, Barry Hall's just come back on the ground. They've gone pretty small, Roosie. He's decided to change it up the last 5 minutes and really got going again, the Swans.
Simpson wide to Waite.
It's important for Carlton to make sure they shut down the Swans. They're very good at the stoppages on a regular basis. The Sydney Swans get big numbers around. They just can't leak goals after a good start.
Good tackle on Kennelly, wrapped up by Kennedy. And the umpire said that Ty Kennelly didn't have prior opportunity. Ball up.
Well, Nick Malcheski started well for Sydney now. He's had the 9 possessions, 4 handball received, just running into that stoppage there.
Everett in opposition to Kennedy. Everett, little tap to Kirk. Dump, didn't necessarily have it. Houlihan held up by Kennelly. Another ball up.
Spud, you touched on Carlton trying to spread out these sort of stoppages. Sydney like to get big numbers around. They'll push the bodies in against their opponents and usually get the clearances. The best chance for the Carlton are to get limited numbers around the ball and try to run out.
Correct way.
Everett with the back tap to Jude Bolton. Matthews caught by Walker. Kirk. Jude Bolton. Malcheski, good build-up. Hall's on the move. He's ignored. Too many options, and Schneider takes it instead.
Well, Malcheski's the one that Carlton need to put some heat into now.
Schneider to O'Loughlin, and takes the mark. He was half held. Would have got a free.
Well, it was a great mark, but Nick Malcheski's had 10 possessions now, Lynchy, and 5 handball receives. The run through the middle of the ground. He is a much improved player, probably one of the most improved players in the competition.
And it's filled the void with Kennelly's been out. That run off half-back, he's been so good. It was interesting. I don't know whether we've got a shot from behind the goals, but Mickey O'Loughlin didn't lead. He just signalled which side he wanted the ball kicked and just took a few steps into the ball and took a very handy mark, or free kick.
Sydney's all-time games record holder, Michael O'Loughlin, passed John Rantel last week, lines them up, and that was never going to touch the sides.
Great goal. We've just pumped up Malcheski, Lynchy, and where's he gone?
Modern footy again, Spud. Have a spell. Look here, O'Loughlin didn't have to run into the ball. His good position put onto the side that Mickey O'Loughlin had all the space, and it was mark all free kick and good conversion.
One thing about Michael O'Loughlin, he's not a big man, but he's strong. He uses his body really well, and he's strong through the legs. You look at his frame, it's not huge, but gee, he uses his body well.
First goal of the afternoon for Michael O'Loughlin. Dennis Pagan on screen with Tony Liberatore, one of his assistants, to his left. He's got a star cast of assistants: Liberatore, Ratton, Craig Bradley, Carlton's games record holder. Jude Bolton. Sydney Swans on the move now. Barry Hall can't half volley. Ablett. Everett from 30. 2 in 30 seconds.
That's the strength of Peter Everett. His ability to run and push forward when they've got the ball is absolute elite. You won't see any better effort from a ruckman with this here. You see Everett win the tap, the ball pushes forward. Just have a look at Everett here, just in the bottom of the screen. He just pushes hard, Ablett, and there's Everett. That is great running for a guy that's 6'8", Lynchy.
Yeah, the centre clearance is starting to go the Sydney Swans' way. Clearances in total 18 to 15 in favour of Carlton, but certainly the gap's closing.
First goal of the afternoon, 9th goal of the season for Peter Everett. And what a magnificent piece of work from Everett then. The ruck contest, straight down towards full forward. Some ruckmen would have still been in the centre circle watching on. No clearance, another ball up. 27 minutes gone, opening term.
Sydney will love these clearances. Just smother the game and then work. Take your opportunities when we get them.
And if we've got a wide angle, there's plenty of space outside that initial pack. It's very much congested, and outside there's a lot of space for the Swans players to run onto. Carlton
by goal, they're hanging on. Walker sends it long towards the square. Barry takes the mark. Brendan Favola led. The lead was ignored. Now Barry held his spot. Eddie Betts tries to spoil. McVeigh made it tough for him. Goods. Wobbly handball. Bannister. Inside 50, but it's play on. Young. Gives it back again to Walker. Snaps around the body. It's a high kick. Down there is O'Halpin. Betts tries to snaffle it. O'Halpin a toe poke. Dangerous area. Barry extracts it and runs away with it. They can rush it behind if they want to. They've got numbers back. Malcheski from McVeigh to Matthews.
That's been the difference to Sydney. They're running the ball out now. Carlton just need to maintain that intensity and pressure.
Barry Hall. They could level the scores for quarter time here. Short pass in the O'Keefe direction. Wiggins mops it up to Waite. Young. Held up on the wing. Gibbs. Good movement from the youngster. Played on. Sends it inside 50 towards Eddie Betts. One grab, two grabs, three. Did he control it? Umpire said yes.
That was a good effort.
Had a bit of grass on it at the
Good
end.
juggling, Lynchy, wasn't it?
I don't think the kick was ideal. It certainly was a bit of a floater and went long. But gee, see here in a one-on-one contest, which Eddie Betts wouldn't have done a lot through his AFL career, and he's taken a mark there. I think he's had enough of it.
Well, the key to it was Bevan also took his eyes off the ball.
At which stage did he control that?
Good
come
call.
on, Dwayne. It used to be 2 grabs, wasn't it? That was the rule.
Eddie Betts to make the quarter-time lead for the Blues. 2 goals. And that would be about right. He spears it through. Perfect opening term for the Blues. They've started games well this year. They haven't always finished them well. But Carlton away from home here at the Sydney Cricket Ground in perfect conditions with Brendan Favola back into the lineup. Lead the Swans at quarter time. 5-3-33 to Sydney. 3-3-21.